Love English Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Love English Podcast. We are here to help you learn English for your real life in a simple and natural way. I'm your host, Leo.
And I'm Emma. It's so wonderful to be here with you all. This is a safe space for you to learn, so we will always speak slowly and explain everything. Leo, I was just looking at that photo on your desk. It's a beautiful picture of a small town with a river. Where was that taken?
Oh, that photo? That's a picture of my hometown, the place where I grew up. It always makes me feel a little nostalgic. Nostalgic is that warm, happy, but slightly sad feeling you get when you think about the past.
That's a lovely word. And that's a perfect way to introduce our topic for today. How to talk about your hometown. It's such a common conversation starter when you meet new people.
It really is. The first question people often ask is, where are you from? This is a very important question. It sounds simple, but the answer can be interesting. For example, some people move around a lot.
That's true. So let's talk about the questions first. Where are you from is the most common. Is that the same as where did you grow up?
Almost, but not exactly. Where are you from can sometimes mean where you live now. But where did you grow up is specifically about your childhood. So if you want to know about someone's childhood town, that's a great question to ask. Okay, so let me ask you first, Emma. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a place called Maple Creek. It was a suburb. A suburb is a town or area where people live that is outside of a large city. It's not the city, and it's not the countryside. It's somewhere in between.
That's a great explanation. So what was Maple Creek like? What was the general feeling or vibe of the town?
The vibe was very residential and family-friendly. Residential means it's mostly houses where people live, not a lot of offices or big businesses. The streets were lined with trees, and most houses had a small yard with a garden. It was very safe and clean.
That sounds like a classic American suburb. So it sounds quiet. Was it boring for a young person?
That's a great follow-up question. In some ways, yes, it could be a little boring. There wasn't a lot of exciting nightlife or big cultural events in my town itself. But the best part was its location. It was only about a 30-minute train ride from the city center.
Ah, so you had the best of both worlds. That's a wonderful idiom. It means you get the advantages of two different things at the same time.
Exactly. We had a quiet, safe place to live, but we could easily go into the big city for fun. I remember when I was a teenager, my friends and I would take the train into the city every weekend. We would go to concerts, visit museums, and go shopping. Using would like this is a great way to talk about repeated actions in the past, your old habits.
That sounds like a perfect childhood. So what about your town today? Do you still visit, and has it changed a lot?
I do. My parents still live in the same house, so I visit them a few times a year. And yes, it has changed so much. It's much more developed now. Developed means more buildings and businesses have been built. The small park where I used to play now has a big supermarket next to it.
How do you feel about that change?
It's a mix of feelings. On one hand, it's more convenient. Convenient means it's easy and saves time. My parents love having a big supermarket so close. But on the other hand, I feel a bit sad. It doesn't look like the town I remember. It has lost some of its old charm. Charm is that special quality that makes a place feel attractive and pleasant.
I completely understand that feeling. It's nice to see progress, but it's also sad to lose the places from your memories. Thank you for sharing that, Emma. It gives me a great picture of your background.
Of course. Now it's your turn, Leo. Tell me all about your hometown, Riverwood. You said it was a small town.
It was. Compared to your suburb, my town was tiny. It was a small town in the countryside, surrounded by hills and forests. It was very different from living near a big city.
So, what was the atmosphere like there? If my town was family friendly, what was yours?
The atmosphere was very tight-knit. A tight-knit community means that everyone knows each other and is very connected, like a big extended family. If I did something wrong, my parents knew about it before I even got home.
I can imagine. So, it was friendly, but maybe not very private. What did it look like? What makes it scenic, like you said before?
Well, the river is the main feature. It runs right through the center of the town. There's an old historic stone bridge that crosses it. That bridge is what the town is famous for. The buildings in the town center are also very old, from the 19th century, so it feels very historic.
So, a quiet, scenic, historic town with a tight-knit community. What did you do for fun as a kid in a small town?
We had to make our own fun. My childhood was all about being outdoors. I didn't spend much time inside playing video games. My friends and we were always outside. In the summer, we went swimming and fishing in the river. We built forts in the woods. A fort is like a little secret house you build from branches and leaves.
That sounds like something from a movie.
It felt like an adventure. We rode our bikes everywhere. The town was so safe that our parents just let us go out and play all day. We just had to be home for dinner. It was a very different kind of freedom.
That really does sound like a wonderful childhood. It sounds very peaceful. So, what about the downsides? What was the most difficult part about growing up in a small town?
That's a fair question. I think the biggest downside was a feeling of being isolated or far away from everything. As I got older, I wanted to see more of the world. I wanted to meet different kinds of people and have new experiences. That's why I decided to move to the city for college. There were just more opportunities in the city. Opportunities means chances to do new and better things.
I understand that completely. So, has Riverwood changed much since you left?
Not as much as your hometown. It's still very small and quiet. A few new cafes have opened, which is nice, but mostly it feels like time has stood still. When I go back to visit my family, it feels almost exactly the same as when I was a kid. It's very nostalgic.
I think it's interesting. You had this very traditional, quiet childhood, and I had a more modern, suburban one. But it seems we both have happy memories. Leo, what advice would you give to a listener who feels like their hometown is not very interesting?
That's a great final point. I would say that every place has a story. Even if your town is not famous or beautiful, it's your town. You can talk about your favorite memory there. Maybe it's your favorite little restaurant or the park where you played, or a funny story about one of your neighbors. The feelings and memories are what make the story interesting, not just the facts.
That is beautiful advice. It's not about what the place is, it's about what the place means to you.
Exactly. Well, this has been a wonderful trip down memory lane. A trip down memory lane is an idiom for spending time remembering the past.
It really has. So let's do our final summary. Remember the key questions to start. Where are you from? Or where did you grow up?
Use simple adjectives to describe your hometown. Was it a big city or a small town? Was it quiet or bustling? Historic or modern?
Use the simple past tense to talk about your memories and your childhood. I played outside. We went to the park. The town was very small. Use would to talk about past habits.
And use the simple present tense to talk about how your hometown is today. Now it is bigger. It has more restaurants. The people are still friendly.
And don't forget to ask follow-up questions to show you're interested. What was it like? What did you do for fun? Has it changed? Talking about where you are from is a wonderful way to start a friendship.
That's right. Thank you all for joining us on the Love English podcast. We hope you feel ready to share the story of your special hometown.
We'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.
thanks for listening to Love English Podcast. Remember, every minute you spend learning English is an investment in your future. Keep learning and see you in the next episode.